Oh, back again, are we? For yet another episode of Panel Pals, mate. The return of the... This is, Tim Burton's Panel Pals returns. We're once again watching the Spider-Man animated series, the 90s one with Christopher Daniel Barnes. But before that, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Emin Stash.
And let's crack on with the episode.
Okay, we got Doctor Octopus, right?
Yeah, so, just in case you don't know, he's the one who's got more arms than you would expect.
Perhaps it has something to do with his name?
I hadn't considered. Is that why they call him Doctor Octopus? I thought he was like a marine biologist. So,
why does Spider-Man only have 4 legs and fucking 4 legs?
Wait for season 2, my friend.
Oh yeah, shit. No.
So, first summary: the wealthy Felicia Hardy, Peter's love interest for this episode. Don't worry, Mary Jane's not in it. Is kidnapped by Doctor Octopus, a madman with 4 metallic tentacles welded to his very body. Doc Ock demands a king's ransom to build a dangerous device he believes will save mankind. But when Otto's craftsmanship proves to be as bad as his mental state, it's up to both Peter and Spider-Man to save the day.
That's a boss fucking synopsis right there. When do you want to begin with this one?
Where's Mary Jane? This episode. It does reference the Spider Slayers, so this must happen.
That's what I wrote down.
Yeah, it must happen after episode 3. But I would. Yeah, so he must know Mary Jane.
It felt more like the order's wrong. That's what it felt like.
It's definitely wrong. This is Disney Plus. I'm going off as well. The official. Do better, Disney.
Yeah, because it makes him sound like the Spider Slayers just happened. He didn't mention MJ at all.
Yeah.
Unless Nick Lowe got his hands on this episode before. No, there was no Aunt May, and he was even home. She just never appeared. Good riddance.
It wasn't Uncle Ben. Yeah. We did see, and this is the first time we see Uncle Ben moving, because we've only seen his photograph. Yeah. So he was alive. It wasn't AI generated. Uncle Ben did exist.
I wonder if it was just like a figment of his imagination after he's dealing with Skip Westcott. Like the stress was just too much for Peter.
Yeah, because no one was there to defend him against Skip. He's conjured up an imaginary friend who's like big and tough and will protect him. That's quite
the
sad,
greatest
actually.
uncle possible.
Yeah.
I do think it was funny at the start of the episode where he's like, I finally got a date with Felicia. Well, I'm just a tutor. It's like, well, it's
like, all right, man. There was a story a few years ago over here where a teacher took his student to France on a bit of a Nancy field trip.
Sounds like Norman Osborn.
Is this Peter's plan? He's there. He has the power in this relationship because she needs something from him. Now, could he threaten to teach her wrong if she rebuffs his advances?
When in Sins Past, when the daughter of Gwen Stacy was around, didn't they kiss in Paris?
Peter or Norman?
Peter? Weren't they in her Paris estate and she was in love with Peter?
I believe so. Because he goes and visits.
It all makes sense.
But if my teacher was, say you had a driving instructor and he was making a few too many remarks, like where he tells her, it's a bit cold out, but I'll keep you warm. Don't know, Peter. You know, I don't know, mate.
Stop playing this. Well, if we look at the evidence here, it's
yeah, like, no, our music up, yeah, mate.
It's looking a bit dodgy for Peter. The panel pals built this case in a bit of cave with a box of scraps.
You know, it's often the sexually abused who become sexual abusers themselves in later life.
Ask the Joker. You think they got like a fan club with like Skip Westcott, the Joker,
the guards who bummed Joker in Folly Ado.
The prisoners who got Kingpin.
Probably a couple priests Daredevil knew.
Mr. Hyde if we're at it as well.
Oh, definitely Mr. Hyde, mate.
But what's canon to him right now? We're gonna make sure it's canon with this.
Yeah, can't skip there. The best thing to do is to just not unmask him, because then you can just say it's a new one.
Just keep it fucking anonymous.
Easy. Don't worry who's under the mask. It's Mr. Fear. That's it.
Why did Mr. Fear never play on fucking Kingpin's fear of being bummed? That's such a missed opportunity. Could you imagine that? He fucking strangles Wesley because he thinks he's trying to get to him. Get away, Wesley.
Imagine all of Arkham Knight, but every time Scarecrow's on the screen, he's on about how he's going to send thugs to bomb Batman. I know what you really fear, Batman.
Or even like Joker in the asylum. Me? Bumming you?
These are my best guys, Batman. They'll find you and bomb you.
It's just the Joker trying to get revenge after Folly Ado.
Yeah. One of the guards wore a fucking Batman mask.
Officer Balls. That's fucking who we got. That's why he killed him.
And in Night, one of the guys who check out the Batmobile in Night at the police station's literally called Officer Seaman. No way.
Joker meet Officer Seaman.
When you scan Frank Bowles' face when he's dead, when you scan his corpse in detective mode, it labels him as one of Joker's inside men.
What do they mean by inside, exactly?
One of the men inside Joker at Arkham.
Is there a reason why he was always so against an officer who was clearly helping him?
Ooh. Revenge.
Doesn't seem right. Why would you want revenge on a aiding officer?
Yeah, he
unless
helped
he was
them escape.
aiding in different ways. We're talking about Spider-Man, if you couldn't tell.
Was involved. So yeah, Doctor Octopus. What does he do with all them spare hands?
It bums people, apparently.
Oh,
their space.
Groping. So in my notes,
Did you like the part where he's like, Felicia's like, "Oh, my mom's buying a yacht," and Peter's like, "Well, what happened? Other one get wet?"
Yeah, I've got that labeled as the best joke in the episode. Old one got wet. Fantastic.
I mean, there was a lot of decent jokes. I think it wasn't the funniest out of the ones we've watched so far, but there was the ones that did really hit. Like Joker.
There's a bit where he goes, how would you feel, Doctor Octopus goes, how would you feel, Spider-Man, if you had to stand by and watch helplessly while other people suffered? And he goes, about as bad as I'd feel if I had a name like Doc Ock.
Even just I love the way he calls Jameson Pickle Puss.
I think this episode had a fantastic representation of Jameson. He was written spot on.
I wrote it down in here.
He sounds, when Doctor Octopus kidnaps Felicia and he's on the news, like asking for demands so that they can get her back, he sounds almost like robotic, like he's just reading from a script. But the second he's man to man with Doctor Octopus on the phone, he's talking raw shit. He's calling him a loser.
He shows genuine care. He has a backbone.
Yeah.
You could call him a man without fear if you want to.
Jameson's genuinely, he might be like my favourite Marvel character of all time. Just when he's got these balls, and he'll walk up to this buff dude with 4 metal arms that could kill him in a second and call him a coward to his face. Mate, that's
Jameson
guts.
doesn't take shit from anyone.
No, mate, he's in charge. You don't get where Jonah is without taking charge, dude.
Yeah, fucking Joker will know all about that one. Even when Felicia said, like, Doc Ock reminds me of Flash Thompson, all hands, that was
all
wild.
Hands? Yeah.
It's wild.
Boss.
It's a kid show, mate. You can't have him punch, but you can have her say that.
Well, I noticed as well, when the explosion happens in Doc Ock's backstory, because they can't say the word die, he goes, Otto Octavius vanished in that explosion. You can't say that, but you can make reference to Flash, like, feeling Felicia's ass.
I didn't like that it was the they brought in the iconic "here's web in your eye" because that was such a fucking thing he should say.
Yeah.
It feels right when Christopher Daniel Barnes says that as well.
Yeah, mate. He's my definitive Spidey, of course. And
did you
while
notice,
we're on the thing of voice acting, go on. No, go on. You do yours and I'll do it.
I was gonna say, did you notice that they reused Otto's screaming fucking clip every 2 seconds?
Yeah, he was laughing in like the backstory bit of it, and then they use it again, but have him scream over it, but he's still smiling.
and then like even in the end, he screamed again. It's so stupid.
The reuse of animation becomes rampant pretty soon as well.
It's fucking episode 4. It's that far into it.
Yeah, no, they've already ran out of budget, mate. And they wasted it on the Spider Slayers.
And then the guitar theme probably, mate. They had to get that perfect.
Yeah, it was Aerosmith, wasn't it?
They didn't even need to go that hard for it.
Glad
what were you going to say?
I was going to say, while we're on about Chris Barnes, Doctor Octopus himself is voiced by Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., known as Alfred from the DCAU.
Yeah, the best Alfred.
Yeah, he is the definitive. He's the Kevin Conroy of Alfreds. He was also Doctor Octopus in that sick 2000s video game, the one with Seth the Web, the PS1. But do you know why he sounds like this in this cartoon?
I believe it was a rumor going around at the time.
Oh, it was indeed, mate. Do you want to say it or should I?
I'll give you the honors.
Oh, so Doctor Octopus has this weird accent because the rumor was he was going to be played in a live-action movie by Arnie himself, mate. The definitive Mr. Freeze, the definitive blockbuster. He was going to take on yet another comics role. Have you read that script where, like, the movie ends with Peter kissing Mary Jane and, like, Norman Osborn, Doctor Octopus, and Harry are all, like, watching it at different locations and all of them throw the fists in the air and go, Spider-Man! Have you not read that?
I've only seen parts of like the James Cameron script where it's with like Electro and Sandman where it's so shit.
Yeah. Oh, that was mate. There was another one and it ended with literally like setting up for the sequel. All 3 of them. They're not in the same room or nothing, they're all just watching from different vantage points. And every single one of them throw the fists in the air and like decree their hatred for Spider-Man back to back. But Doc Ock by Arnie, mate.
And the voice actor also played, I think, Justin Hammer in the Iron Man show.
Did he?
Yeah, in the 90s one.
Mate, season 1's god awful, but season 2 was kind of cool.
I always found the suit up weird when it goes to CGI.
Yeah.
For no reason at all. It just randomly switches. It's weird. I know, obviously, a part of his job is making his voice sound different, but you'd never suspect that this German fellow is fucking Alfred.
Yeah. He's that good, isn't he, mate?
Oh, the way he's able to change his accents is really good.
Professional.
Although it did look a bit weird when young Ock was talking, and he had that same voice.
It's still sounding that gruff and rough. And he still
Didn't
had the
look
bowl
anything
cut.
like it. Yes. At least they're not ashamed of it.
Yeah, finally.
They had to give him a fade though. They could have given him the proper bulk. It's better than Mysterio's blonde
ponytail.
Ponytail.
God, yeah. Oh, yeah, he was Justin Hammer recurring in 1995's Iron Man.
Did you remember in the episode when the FBI came in and they were laughing at Peter for him describing the suspect as having 4 metal arms?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, right. And they just had fucking spider slaves destroy the city.
Yeah, and like the fishbowl-headed magician made a public show of fighting Spider-Man.
The Defenders exist.
Yeah.
The Avengers exist. The fucking Fantastic Four exist. It's like later on with that stupid man in a rhino.
Come on. I personally funded a man in a scorpion suit, but a man dressed like a rhino, come on.
Man in rhino suit.
So there was a man in a rhino suit.
Oh, there's some moments where it's like they build tension in the most stupid ways possible.
But they play it completely straight through. At no point is it like, that's dumb. Like, no, there's a man in a rhino suit.
Could you imagine? Like Kingpin, instead of him like discovering Daredevil and being scared, he's like, a man in a devil suit. Don't make me laugh. It's like, and
one
it's
of
like
the thugs
80s Marvel
Daredevil's
universe.
Like, man in a devil suit.
So there really was a Daredevil.
You know, in Arkham Origins, it's like, no such thing as a Batman, huh? But it's Killer Croc's like, man in a bat suit.
I love how the Batman's like too much for them when there's a fucking giant crocodile in their prison.
And they've literally faced Shane before. So come on.
It's like, how dense are these people? Why do they have to be so annoying for?
Oh, mate, the funniest bit, of the episode, I thought, was Peter gives him the money. And he's like, okay, now you're going to let Jonah and Felicia go, aren't you? And I was like, no. Because now I can just ransom them again. And Peter goes, you promised. And Otto goes, oh no, a broken promise.
Sound familiar?
He rinses him everywhere, mate.
I wrote it down. I was like, what a fucking clapback that was. It was crazy, man. You could tell he was waiting for that moment as well. The whole time. He's like, yeah. He definitely, like, he was in the mirror before this happened. He was just, sounds familiar. No, that's not right. Sounds familiar. Yes, that's good.
Did you notice how much Spider-Man 2 stole from this episode?
What, with like the fucking chained up thing?
No, you know how everyone says Spider-Man 3 took from the Venom saga, where like the symbiote gets him angry and like in the church and all that? Well, in this one, in this episode, Doctor Octopus, or rather, Otto Octavius, has created a new... He's created a new but unstable power source. Not just the connection, which is another thing that didn't happen. Yeah. Doc Ock's made an unstable power source for mankind. Then his experiment goes wrong and it fuses his arms to his body. But he's still determined to recreate his machine.
But
just
also,
like in Spider-Man 2.
now that you mention it, I had it written down that like, well, a part of it is just, I guess for now we could just say that Peter was a fan as well as being for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But I do like when he calls up how excited Otto gets when he realizes that Peter's a massive fan.
Yeah, he's
And
another
he actually,
nerd.
like,
He's like,
all he wants to do is just show him his work as well. He's like, look.
yeah. It's like, come over to my house, I'll show you my toys, and then bring the money. And
he could not care about Felicia and Johnny. He's like, all he wanted to do was just show him the fucking thing.
It's endearing, mate. I loved it. He was genuinely excited to make a friend, wasn't he?
Yeah, what if like Peter and Otto became best friends?
Yeah, Peter's like, you know what, let them go. I'll help you with this. This looks fun. And then they're just like building Lego together for the rest of it.
Building like a Lego fusion reactor. Did you notice that, like, speaking of inspiration, did this inspire that like Howard Mackie and John Byrne sort of retcon later on?
The one where the explosion also gave them the same powers.
No, like remember the retcon, the Spider-Man's origin story where he was at like an Otto Octavius fucking presentation. It felt like this was like the inspiration for it.
From like season 1 or year 1, whatever it was called.
Yeah. I'm so glad they ignored that.
Where Sandman's Norman Osborn's cousin because they both have cornrows.
It's so stupid.
Maybe, yeah, because I think this is the first time, unless another cartoon had done it before, where Peter knew Otto Octavius before he was Doc Ock.
And I think that his origin was really well done too. Like, it was really, like, just that short 2 minutes was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And then they created a good enough tension, I thought, just to even, for a kid's show. I thought that this episode had the most brutal fights, considering what he was doing.
There was a very coolly animated part where Doc Ock's got Peter trapped and he knocks like a wooden beam off the ceiling and it nearly crushes Spider-Man's head, but he just moves out the way just in time.
Yeah.
But that bit was
and
quite
even just the way he was throwing him around into like all the crates and shit. The censorship goes, it was the most brutal one for me.
Yeah. That bit that's in the intro where he's like running past the crates as Doc Ock's arms are just scattering.
Yeah, it's so cool.
That bit's sick.
It's like, I think with Ock they had more room to explore because like Otto doesn't really have to hit Peter to make it look cool. He's got full massive tentacles.
Yeah.
They just go wild, like Joker in the bathroom. I did remember that one part where they're like, when Doc Ock sends the tape. And then Robbie's like, oh, the tape just arrived. And then he plays it, and before you even see anything, it's just Felicia moaning on the tape.
Yeah. And then he goes, I will call at 10 a.m. And Robbie goes, that's in 2 minutes. The tape just got here. Why bother sending the tape and calling?
It was a bit dodgy, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
The tape arrived, moans into the fucking microphone. Doc Ock's into some freaky shit. He had both tied up. Although, I never understood
the tentacle stuff, isn't he?
When Ock was like the Spidey, if you turn it off, you'll face my full wrath. But if
Double
you don't,
jeopardy, Spider-Man.
Yeah. But it's like, just rip the fucking rope. You can do that, mate. You don't have to untie it.
Yeah, when she's like, hurry, and he's like, I'm going as fast as I can, Miss Hardy.
Just rip it.
He could rip the steel that the rope is attached to if he wanted. He's freaking Spider-Man.
He got super strength. You can't rip it.
Jonah giving him shit as well, where he's like, you moron, you've activated the process.
Even like when Robbie's like to Jonah, like, keep your cool, don't I always? He's like, no.
Second episode in a row that Jonah Jameson's been kidnapped.
Is the damsel in distress.
I'm starting to think these writers have a very specific fetish.
I do think it's like if there's going to be someone kept hostage, Jameson's the best person in Spidey comics.
Because he'll still give him raw shit when he's doing it, won't he? Spidey will
Like when
save
you're
him and he'll
attached to
still
the
rip
bomb,
into him. Yeah.
he just starts picking him
Oh
up
my
and
god, this
walks.
is the third episode in a row that Jameson's been kidnapped. Spider Slayers Part 2.
Maybe Jameson secretly has a thing for Spidey, and he's just trying to get saved by him constantly.
He's like that fucking Christina from the new animated series. Remember her, the goth who kept like throwing herself off buildings?
He's like Spider-Man would save her.
Yeah.
Did you when Felicia's like, oh, how could I ever repay you or thank you? And he's like, oh, this is good. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
Peter. And then fucking he makes sure to like jump quickly back into the thing, change into his Peter outfit quickly. And when she removes the rubble, he's perfectly fine. Like even his outfit is fine.
Yeah,
His
not
hair
like
is
a
still
crumb
perfect.
on him. And like when Doctor Octopus throws him out the window and Jonah goes, even Parker didn't deserve that. What are you on about? He's brought the buddy Peter's brought in with his photos of not only Spider-Man, but the Lizard. And Jonah's like, I mean, he's an asshole, but even he didn't deserve. And did you spot they reused more animation? Because when Spider-Man was crawling back into the crates, he's crawling backwards down the building for like a split second. In a way that you would not do. He'd either be upside down, so he's going forward, or he'd just let go of the building because they already had the animation of him climbing up the wall. They just played it backwards.
They should have just like reversed it and flipped it.
Yeah. But they just couldn't be asked.
Point?
They could have just twisted the footage upside down and it would have made more sense.
So he's like climbing fucking in reverse.
Yeah.
Does he have like a a fucking track
It's not even like
going on as well?
With Daredevil, you could see that the D's would be mirrored, but because it's a full spider on his back, you can't tell because he's symmetrical.
Actually symmetrical.
Yes.
Even that was too much. They're already lazy reusing shots, but they couldn't even to make it look right.
Yeah.
I love even just the way like they have Otto in prison, sitting there.
I like how they've got him trapped with like all his tentacles pulled. He can't. He's fucked. He's got to sleep sitting up.
Does he? What about if he needs to go to the bathroom? He's still wearing his fucking super suit. I'm sure there's not like a zipper in that.
I love later. It's during season. It's the first episode of season 2. Chameleon's breaking everyone out of prison. And he lets out Mac Gargan, and he's not in his Scorpion suit. It is McDonald Gargan. And then he lets out the Shocker, but the Shocker's still wearing his mask. And they just call him the Shocker. They don't call him Herman or nothing. So this prison have somehow managed to remove Scorpion's suit. But they couldn't get Shocker's mask off him.
Did you go through like a fucking like Herman Schultz no more story arc that we're unaware of?
No,
it's like when Matt Murdock faked his death to be Daredevil. It's like fucking Shockers faked Herman Schultz's death. Herman Schultz was getting in the way of the Shocker.
No more, right?
He has like that iconic cover where he's just put his fucking civilian clothes in the bin. And the Shocker walks on.
They think I use vibrations. I am vibration.
At the end of it, he's like, Shocker, what a joke. And then it becomes Herman Schultz again.
The key problem next episode is that Scorpion believes he's trapped in his costume. But when they show him, we'll see in a few episodes' time, when they show Scorpion, he's back to being like Fat Gargan from the start of next episode. And
it's like a Arkham Knight's Jason Todd, where Joker's fucking dead. It's like, what are you mad about?
So what is the problem, mate? We've solved it.
It is just stupid. But even I thought this episode did a better job with its serious tones. Like when Robbie just talks shit to Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
He's like, he's right. Even when Peter realized, or when Spider-Man realized that Peter can be useful too.
Oh, I thought that was
in
boss.
A massive like eureka moment.
Yeah.
And you have that iconic photo of Spider-Man without his mask.
Yeah, where he's smiling in the mirror because he's like, "When
everyone
Spider-Man can't help, maybe Peter Parker can."
Everyone uses that fucking photo.
Yeah.
And
because he looks cool as hell.
He's massive.
Oh, he's huge.
Why is everyone so big in this?
Puny Parker, mate. Yep.
How did he get bullied?
Must be ironic that we call like the big fella tiny.
Mate, if he gets bullied, what chance do any of us have?
Yeah. Flash must have like a 10-pack.
It's like how he's like to the kids, well, Skip Westcott, did this to me. He's like, well, fuck, you're Spider-Man, mate. What am I going to do?
From ASM 300, where Eddie Brock's like, I heard lifting weights help get over the help with stress. They didn't, but Peter's like, lifting weights to get over Skip's assault.
He just can't even look at Mary Jane anymore because it's just the trauma.
Doctor Octopus, mate, one of obviously one of the big three, the Spidey bad guys.
Where would you rank Doc Ock from the villains we've had so far?
Second.
Who was your number one?
Mysterio.
Spider Slayers?
Oh, yeah, but specifically that weird blue one that wasn't a spider and wasn't a scorpion.
Sorry?
Out of the 3 Spider Slayers, there's the Black Widow, there's the one that looks like a scorpion, and then there's like the weird middle blue one who no one likes.
Oh yeah, like the one that like the Amazing Spider-Man game decided to take.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Mate. That game made robots and animals. You can't have banter with robots. You can't have banter with animals.
Where did Oscorp keep the fucking giant snake?
Yeah, that big snake one destroys many city blocks. And Spider-Man's still seen as a villain for this.
Where did he... Wait, do they just... It's like in... when they put something in their pocket that's clearly not going to fit and it just disappears. What are they going to do with the cleanup? There's a giant fucking snake now.
Why is every Spider-Man game about like stopping a big virus outbreak? 2018, Web of Shadows, Amazing Spider-Man. This one done that. Second one.
Even the first Spider-Man game had that like you couldn't go on the streets
for symbiosis. The gas.
Deadly gas as well.
Yeah, that was preparing New York.
In what if mode, wasn't like the radioactive plant or like the gas thing had bananas to stop it?
Yeah, in the tailpipe, mate. Big bananas for jamming the nuclear plant. Black Cat's dancing in the cage.
Flashbacks when he sees that?
Yeah, when he sees them nannies, mate, in his tailpipe. Condiment king.
He deserves respect, but he's in the animated series too. We should just... If we ever do a Batman one, we're doing that one.
I will always happily watch Batman the Animated Series as long as it's an episode with a villain. I'm not asked about these ones like Batman in my basement and shit.
Oh, yeah.
If Joker's there, or like, what one did I watch the other day? The Vanisher. Was that his name? There's an early TAS episode where the guy goes invisible to like see his daughter pretending to be an imaginary friend.
I would love to look at The Great Ghost. That's
I watched that one the other day and all, mate, smashed it. There's like 5 in a row that are dead good. It's like Joker's Favour is right after Grey Ghost.
Yeah.
That one, mate. Bet you what Charlie his name was, wasn't it? Ray Joker still gets flashbacks of him from the ending of that. First Harley Quinn appearance, mate, back when she was good, before she was dog shit.
The Jester outfit, long live the Jester outfit.
It's so
Why
funny
are they so
how,
against it?
I know, it's so mad how they keep redesigning Harley Quinn, and then no costume has eclipsed in either how good it looks in general or how like sexy it is than the original.
Yeah, it's like the more revealing her outfit is, the less appealing it is.
Exactly.
I always found like the Jester to be the like. It was simplistic and she was fully covered, yet she looked more appealing.
Yeah. Clayface it goes. After Joker's favour, Clayface two-parter.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that'd be dozy. That one's got really good animation where he's like at the end, where he's in all the screens and he's warping from identity to identity.
Yeah, but don't let Matt Reeves get his hands on it.
Oh God, no, mate.
Could you imagine that?
Clefairy.
He's French. He's a failing French actor. That's his whole stick.
Yeah, that's it. He's not even a supervillain. He's just a French actor.
What's some trivia for this episode?
First appearance of Doctor Octopus.
Yeah, cheers. Spider-Man wears his costume. Nice.
Before I go too far from Batman TAS, it goes Grey Ghost, great episode. Prophecy of Doom, bit shit. Didn't really have a supervillain. Clayface two-parter, then Joker's favour, then Killer Croc, and then Scarecrow, and then the Clock King. No way. There's like 6 episodes on the bounce there that are all sick.
Respect the fucking Clock King.
Where was this Arkham boss fight, mate?
Look, you were robbed.
Mate, you lose the Clock King's goons, and it's like zooms in on him. Looks like you're out of time, Batman.
That's like the death screen.
Death scene.
It's just a variation of that. It's like, time's run out, Batman.
Just keep saying time over and over again.
The and time my watch has died.
Oblivion.
Even if it doesn't make sense, he has to mention time.
Yeah.
It looks like you got your time kicked, Batman.
We really clocked you good, didn't we?
Time at the end. Did you know that this story of the episode was adapted in Spider-Man Adventures issue 7, which was a comic series based on the animated... Of course it's going to be adapted if it's from the fucking... Okay.
There's a story in that magazine where Venom returns again. But it's
what's shit trivia, though?
That's not really
this
trivia,
episode was adapted on the book that's based off the series? Oh, no shit. Of course it's going to be adapted if it's an adaptation of the adaptation. It's just an adaptation.
What's your favorite Doc Ock story?
Either when he saved Spidey in the 90s.
Right before he dies by Kane.
Yeah. Ooh, I thought that was even just
Kane's
a perfect death.
Sick,
because he had that full circle moment.
He knows Peter's Spider-Man, and he chooses to save his life so that they can continue their game of...
is insane, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Ever since he came back from his death, it's been horrible.
It's annoying how he peaks and then he dies.
And then he comes back and he's just shit.
Yeah.
But I love that story. And the fucking return of the Sinister Six with the cocaine.
Where he cures cocaine addiction once and for all.
Yeah,
what a Sinister Six that was, dude. Friggin' Hobgoblin was there.
Yeah, and it was like a weird mix of Hobgoblin and Demo Goblin.
Yeah. Sandman betrays the Six. Was that the start of Sandman being a chiller dude?
Because then he went to Sable, didn't he? Didn't they force him in the first place? Because he was
they were strong arming him. And they turn him into glass because Doc Ock's got a flamethrower, mate.
I do love how he's people are gonna be like basically allergic to this drug, and only I will have the cure. It's like, you are a madman. That's only Doc Ock could come up with something like that.
He's a crafty one. Is that the story where he beats up the Hulk?
Was it that? One of the Hulk?
I know, like, the whole story, it's got Spider-Man teaming up with other heroes to fight the Six off it.
When he gets the cyborg?
It's where, Deathclock, or Deathlock.
Yeah. He gets the cyborg arm?
Yeah. From a Sable. I thought you meant the cyborg character, where it's like, is Deathlock or Deathclock or something.
Yeah, Deathlock, yeah. I think he gives him the arm?
Yeah, because it's a cast that heals him, but when Spidey wakes up and sees his arm's metal, he's like, oh, Cable's gonna sue.
I do love, like, there's an action figure of that one as well, and I oddly want it just because of the novelty of that entire outfit. I did hate how Insomniac did it for their game, but they based it off their costume. It's like, give him the Eric Larson look. Where's his giant eyeball? We could have a whole
episode of this talking shit about Insomniac's take on this character.
Mate, the fans will be fuming.
Mm.
But when in that warehouse fight where Doc Ock fights the Hulk, they destroyed Spidey, didn't they?
He sorted him out, certainly. Because his arms are adamantium.
Dead?
Is that the heist that they're doing? Stealing adamantium to get Doc Ock arms?
It was in the warehouse. I wasn't sure. I can't remember why they were there, but I just remember
it's been ages. But I'll have to review this one, mate, because
I got the Epic collection of that one. I'm very happy to own that one.
There's a dead good Shocker issue during that as well. Spidey, while the Six doing shit, the Shocker rolls in. Is that when Nathan Lubensky dies as well during this story?
It's around that time, yeah. I
think so. Good riddance.
You wouldn't get it.
I found some trivia, but again, it's all shit.
You think when Doc Ock was talking to Felicia and Jameson about the whole thing, and they just didn't care, and then when Peter comes through, he gets excited, and he turns to Jameson, and you would get it.
Yeah, mate. The title of this episode is a play on words. Armed and dangerous usually refers to someone who carries a gun. However, the title of the episode refers to Doctor Octopus's 4 mechanical arms. Oh!
Thanks. It is a bit weird how, even this origin was sort of like Mr. Freeze in the animated series where the funding got cut.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
Imagine
it feels wrong, though, in a way, just with Felicia and the way that she's characterized in this show. I can't get over it.
Like how she's a bit like a crybaby at the start until you meet her dad.
But she's like a rich version of Gwen Stacy. It just feels so weird.
Do you reckon, were they scared to use Gwen because they knew that if you use Gwen, you kind of have to kill her later?
Yeah. What they do instead? She actually just went to London. She just
they do that in this, don't they? They suck Mary Jane into a portal.
It's like when they the villain will tell a story of what happened, and they do that weird sort of echo flashback thing.
Yeah.
And Norman's effect. He's like, I bought Gwen Stacy an airport ticket to London. She's gone, Spider-Man. You won't be seeing her ever again. No!
Yeah, because you can't have death in the kids' show, can you, pal?
Yeah. She went to London. I always thought it was just weird when that one episode, I think it was issue 95 of Spider-Man. Spidey in London. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's not really particularly interested in London, dude. Why would we care?
I like how he couldn't swing because all the buildings weren't tall enough.
Buildings are too little, yeah.
It's like, what do I do here? No one's gonna piece together like if they see Peter Parker and Spider-Man in London, like what's he doing here?
He goes to Liverpool in one issue as well, and again, it's like how weird with a bugle to not notice that both of them are like Spider-Man and Peter Parker both turn up in Liverpool at the same time.
Even the Russia one in like the annual, it's like why would he go to Russia for?
In this cartoon, they kind of address that later in the one I won't spoil. It's in season 5, and Spidey goes to Russia, and to get the bugle to pay big money for his plane ticket, he says to them, "Spider-Man told me he was going to go to Russia." It's like, you better follow him, Spider. You better follow him, Peter. And then Robbie Roberts is like, "I'll come too."
I remember there was a brief time where I think he was just abusing that aspect of the bugle, and he kept trying to get free plane tickets to go to places.
Yeah. Spider-Man's going to Disney World, Mr. Jameson.
Spider-Man's trying to hire an assassin to kill his aunt so she can stop ruining his life, Mr. Jameson.
Tail him, Parker. Here's $1 million.
Hire fucking shrewd to do your dirty work. I like when Doc Ock was saying that you're making a career of interference. Some career. No salary, no vacation. Talk about on-the-job health hazards.
I love him when he's just like annoying the villains.
Oh, he pissed off like Mysterio times, didn't he?
I'll tell you what was a boss line in this one. Spider-Man's about to he's trying to bait Doctor Octopus to walking closer to him to stop him to get him trapped in the magnet, but obviously Doc Ock spots it and he goes, I won't fall for the same trick twice. Besides, I can wait, unlike your friends. Because the other two are about to get toasted by the jet.
Yeah, just even the delivery on each line was perfect in this episode.
Yeah.
They were all funny.
And he proper rips into Doc Ock at one point. He calls him like a 6-armed Neanderthal, doesn't he? He's squaring up to him and he's like, whoa.
Doesn't he say, like, I hate to interrupt him and make him a maniac? Like, mid-speech or something?
But here's a web in your eye.
It's iconic, mate. It's fucking class. It is the greatest Spider-Man voice ever.
Yeah. Gotta be.
Christopher Daniel Barnes. You can't beat him.
I know we say it all the time, but why isn't he the definitive voice?
You got bloody the definitive Mr. Fear here, like the definitive kingpin of YouTube. We have the balls to be definitive.
I will throw my hat into the ring and say Chris Barnes deserves the title. He's the Kevin Conroy of Spider-Man.
Yeah, where's the respect for this goat? I'm still waiting for his cameo to come back. When's he's taking a break. Yeah, he has been for like 10 years now.
Oh.
I need him to say some shit for my videos, just like an outro at least.
I thought for a minute you meant cameo in like X-Men 98 because he was unvoiced, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's so sad though. I wish he was.
There's no way that he wouldn't come back and do it though. I mean,
he sounds still perfect.
Yeah. When they brought him back for Shattered Dimensions, it was a good call because he was literally like, he's got that gruffer sounding angry voice for Noir, doesn't he? And
yeah, he does.
Confusingly, he really he's also like the definitive 2099 voice, I would say. Because again, he's a pissed off, angry Spider-Man 2099. And this dude's got that deepness, that power to his voice.
It's in the contrast between the two. It's just so weird.
Oh, no.
Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time is connected, right? Like, they even have the...
Yeah, they have dialogue confirming. Because Peter asks him, are the other me's in my head as well?
The tablet?
Yeah, and
is in Peter's office?
when you're running through Alchemax, you have like statues of Juggernaut and all the villains, like Craven and that. So they are connected. Like, it's the same universe, but they all just sound
How did he
different.
get so depressed? He was like chirpy in the first one, then you see his face in the opening cutscene. He's like full on depressed, just staring.
It's that first one's like at the start of 2099 when he's still got Data, and then Edge of Time starts up after like Flipside and Venom and all that shit. He's been torn down, mate.
Did you like? I always love that. You know when you're first exploring the Altered Bugle, at the start of the game.
Yeah.
And you hear like the ads through the speaker. Then you hear like Ben Grimm something. You hear She-Hulk. You hear Nelson and Murdoch. And all these like Easter eggs for the intercom.
Nice.
I wonder if I can find the Edge of Time.
I absolutely love like cheeky references like that. Like when I was sending you them photos the other day of playing Arkham Knight and running past like Royal Flush Gang hideouts and what was it, Crazy Quilt Laundromat, and I found another one but I couldn't take a photo of it. It was like an instrument shop called Music Meister.
Oh mate, when I didn't know what to post on my channel, I used to milk YouTube shorts of like Arkham Easter eggs.
There's so many.
So if you sorry?
There's so many.
Yeah, I was just going on and on and on and on and on and on.
Nice.
Like this Constantine, you can find his like hideout, I think.
Yeah, I found there's a Zatanna store as well.
Did you find Hush's necklace?
Necklace?
The one that his mum gives him?
No, where the hell's that?
It's like it's if you go to Professor Pig's like hideout, you can find it on a tray before you enter like the creepy area.
Ah. Well, that's cool world building as well, because that's like, did Pig help him? Because when he looks like Bruce Wayne in City, you can see all the stitches proper, can't you? And you can kind of see them in Night as well, but they've like faded in a bit. So that's some cool, like maybe he did work on Hush type of shit. Did you know the novelization of Arkham Knight has Scarecrow mentioned that he knows Batman's seeing Joker because this was part of his and Joker's plan?
To like traumatize him to the point where that's his fear.
Yeah, like Scarecrow tells him, I know that like he was working with Joker to develop this new fear toxin. So what?
What the fuck are they on?
I know. When is Scarecrow getting the spotlight once and for all, mate?
But even like there was an Easter. Did you ever notice the Easter egg in the GC? No, it was the GCPD. It was like the not the GCPD, but the other one within the city. Like the big tower one.
The Wayne Tower.
Where you drop off like Gordon at one point, and then what's it called?
The Clock Tower.
It wasn't I don't think. I
remember driving with Gordon to the clock tower, but then he finds out that Barbara's been working with you and punches Batman and storms off. And there's a grey ghost Easter egg in the clock tower.
Well, because in what it might be outside the clock tower, I think, but you can find like Birds of Prey messages. Like she's messaging
from Black Canary and that.
Yeah, it's sick.
Nice.
And
got like
for
voicemails from Batwoman and everything. Go on, Edge of Time.
I found one Easter egg on the intercom.
Go ahead, what did you say?
Intercom mentions Sue Richards lingerie. And then there should have been like a She-Hulk lawyer one. Let me see. Where's the rest?
Is that a reference to the time she had the 4 on her costume was hollow, like Power Girl, and you could see it tits through it?
Probably. That was insane. What is this? How do I find this? Come on. Bring up. We need a yap before I try to find this one. Edge of Time.
Edge of Time was good. It was fun. It had an interesting twist. It had the two best men teaming up. But yeah, the costumes are sick, dude. Anti-Venom was funny. Like, wise. It's a funny look at the time it come out in that there's anti-Venom, which
it was like
the very recent game. He doesn't really turn up as anti-Venom a lot, does he?
He sort of felt like, oh, he's the thing right now. Let's just pump anti-Venom into the story.
Yeah. Because normally they just use Venom, wouldn't they?
I've just found this one video on YouTube. In there's a containment center when the world is sort of shifting again.
Yeah.
And in one of them, one of the containment fucking centers, you can find Spider-Ham, but he's like phasing in and out. He looks like a hologram that's like slowly disappearing.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. Why would they put Spider-Ham there?
I know they have like statues of the amazing villains. I think you can see Mysterio somewhere in like the CEO's office.
Oh yeah, and then even like I always love that part where you can see the damaged suit in his collection.
Oh yeah, you can see Spider-Ham, can't you?
I mean, I always wish that we could have the sensational like suit in other things.
Mate, we need it in more than just the Wii version of Web of Shadow.
But at least in Edge of Time, it looked perfect.
Dude, you could play as Hornet in Edge of Time.
Oh yeah,
the second coolest of the slingers.
They went all out. How can I? It always feels weird when you like wear the Miles Morales suit as Peter Parker.
Like Batman dressing up as Robin.
Yeah.
Didn't he do that like 2 months ago? Bruce Wayne was Nightwing.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't change anything about his appearance, by the way. He just looked like Bruce Wayne.
Clearly Bruce Wayne did.
He even had the stubble. He couldn't be bothered to shave.
Better than Red Robin, though, didn't he?
Oh, but you know what's funny, though? At the end, Batman's like, I even threw a quip or two in. It's like, okay.
No way. I made a joke, Dick.
One of his jokes was like, wouldn't it be funny if my name was Dick Grayson? Dick, get it? It just is he like breaking their arms.
I love it, Arkham City, when you play it as Robin, and they go, it's Batman's little bitch. He gets no respect.
Oh, mate, it deserves no respect after that, the travesty that is Arkham Knight Robin.
Yeah, Christ. He's literally, he's cool for 2 minutes in City just because he's got his hood up. And then for the rest of the franchise, he's just... I understand they probably made him bald. In fact, I don't know if I told you, I found out why he looks so stupid. And it's because the developers envisioned Tim Drake as doing cage fighting in his spare time. So that's why he's got no hair. I was like, why?
Was it like Wolverine and the X-Men films before they went to the...
He genuinely looks...
found him.
Yeah, he looks cool as hell in Arkham City for the 2 minutes he shows up. It even kicks some ninja ass.
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, like Robin's cool. Fighter. Yeah. And then straight away. Yeah. There was no dynamic. You know what? I was going to save this until we eventually cover Night, but screw it. Doctor Octopus, Armed and Dangerous. Robin. I feel like Batman doesn't care about Robin throughout the whole Arkham series. He doesn't even mention him in Asylum. He tells him to bugger off in City. And in Night, he's like, no, stay away from me and do what I've told you to do, Christ. And then at the very end, Scarecrow kidnaps Robin and Batman's like, I have to go and save my best friend, Robin. What? avoided him the whole franchise. And now
he actually wouldn't have been kidnapped if you just let him out of it.
Yeah.
Even didn't they say like, "Oh, this wouldn't have happened, Batman, if you just let him out."
Yeah, if you'd have trusted
It's your
him.
fault.
Exactly.
He locked him up.
Yeah, he hand-delivered him to Scarecrow. So it's like the whole reason Batman loses Arkham Knight and gets unmasked is because Scarecrow kidnaps Robin. But Batman is the one who basically gave Robin to Scarecrow.
It's like,
and then we're meant
you're
to like,
always gonna face a dilemma of when you're trying to end something, like the character, his career, or his life. You have to sort of find some sort of bullshit to make it work, but it's that like it still comes down to you making it work. You can't just say, "Oh, it happened."
yeah, he's kidnapped
Like, that
Robin,
was
so he's
bullshit.
gonna let him take off his mask. It's like, yeah,
But it's like, even like the way that happened. Oh, Batman was stupid and locked him up. It's bullshit.
it
It's
is
like when
all on
Ultimate
night.
Spider-Man died. It's like, oh, they just happened. Iceman and Human Torch happened to go to the villains that would actually power them up.
Yeah, and all the Ultimates just happen to be having a bit of a civil war at the moment and can't help.
And Captain America happened to be just an asshole for that part as well.
Yeah, and Punisher just happened to shoot Spider-Man on the same night that all the Sinister Six break out, and it's all contrived as hell.
Yeah, mate, Spider-Man could have just webbed Captain America to the wall and he would have done the same thing.
He could have shot. He knew Punisher was there. Why didn't he just shoot a web at Punisher? That would at least make him miss his shot. Then Captain America could take out Punisher and Peter wouldn't have a bullet in him for the final fight.
Plus,
I still think
the bullet wouldn't have hit Cap in a lethal spot.
Cap probably knew he was there, just had a shield ready to ping him before like Spidey knocked him down.
Spidey dived and it hit his near his kidney or liver area.
Yeah,
didn't it?
Yeah, it's like
so
his ribs.
Yeah, and he's in a diving motion, so that means that it wouldn't have hit far off with the same spot for Cap.
Yeah, probably would have just pinged his thigh or something. But Cap a bit taller in it. But
so stupid.
I still think Death of Spider-Man should have just been death of the identity of Spider-Man because everyone finds out who he was instead of actually killing him right when it was getting good again.
Have shoehorned Miles Morales.
Of course, mate. We all know that was the plan in the long run.
Oh, it's Bendis.
If he'd have actually cared, he would have just had his identity go public, and then it would have been the death of Spider-Man in the way that it's now just Peter.
I did hate that, I know Bendis cops a lot of shit, and it is deserved most of the time.
It's frustrating because he can do good.
Well, with the Daredevil stuff, his run to me was top 3, at least top 3 of all time for Daredevil.
After Miller and Wally Wood.
I can't forget the Matador.
Oh, the mastermind behind the Matador.
It was a good story, and I really enjoyed it, even with the continuity errors that was plaguing it. But then for Daredevil's anniversary issue, I can't remember for what year it was, maybe 40th or 50th.
Yeah.
Bendis comes back to there's 3 stories, and Bendis did one of them it was set during that time of his run. And I think I sent you a message about it where it turns out that Daredevil saved another woman, slept with her, married her in secret, and might have a secret child with her. But Bullseye killed her. Why?
Why add that to the backstory?
Not only does it ruin, him and Mila Donovan's relationship, the blind woman, in case no one really knows who she is, it ruins the whole marriage they even had when they were in love. But it just implies that at the time, Matt was going around saving women, sleeping with them, secretly marrying them.
Marrying them?
He got married twice, and whenever Bendis has written the books, he got married twice.
He's a Christian as well. That's bang out of order. What would God say?
Why would Bendis do that? And you can tell everyone thought it was shit because you can find nothing about it. I even searched up afterwards. Does Daredevil have a secret kid? And you can't find anything. They
Should have a
definitely thought,
guide dog sidekick like Ace the Bat Hound.
well, you should. It's funny you should mention that because in that same book,
Yeah.
Mark Waid, the current writer at the time, was
No.
writing a future story of like Daredevil when he's 50, and he has a son, but they don't tell you who the mother is. They keep it a secret.
Yeah, I think I've read this.
Yeah, and
I
like
remember this.
Daredevil at the end lost his powers, so he actually needed a guide dog.
Yeah.
And he was about to get hit by a bus or a truck, just like the old man that he saved when he was a kid.
No.
But then his son saves him, just like how he saved the old guy. And the blind god, the fucking blind dog, did not give a shit. He's like, even his son was like, bad dog. It's like, yeah, you almost got him run over on your first day on the job.
Jesus.
What a fail.
I do remember that. Yeah, I remember his power fading.
It's like you got a new guide dog, and in the first 10 seconds, you almost get run over. What's the point of it? Maybe the guide dog was working for Fisk.
Good boy.
It's like, yeah. he turned like Bullseye into a dog or something.
Hellhound, they should call it.
Oh, but if he says to his son after he's Satan, you're a bit of a daredevil for that one.
Say that again.
Do you think, like, in the writer's room, when they were trying to think of an episode name, someone said, like, oh, Doctor Octopus is pretty armed and dangerous. Say that again.
Say that again.
So they fucking come up with the name.
Daredevil's fought Doc Ock a fair bit too, hasn't he?
He has, actually, surprisingly, he usually gets Spider-Man foes, doesn't he? He's like the discount Spider-Man for them.
But it kind of makes sense because they both operate just in New York. So if you're robbing a bank, it's probably 50-50 on who's going to turn up.
Wasn't Doc Ock extremely confident in bashing him, and then Daredevil kicks his ass?
Yeah, of course. Though it's Doc Ock, and he's proper.
Wasn't it? It was during the Frank Miller era, sorry, or was it right before it? I can't remember.
The one I remember, I think, like with me, the early issues stand out, and then once I'm blasting through something, it'll like all blend together. I remember it being quite like early on, an early issue where he fought.
I remember one in the 160s. That's the one I remember.
Yeah. I remember him fighting Captain America because Doctor Octopus wanted the metal from Cap's shield to incorporate it into his arms, and Captain America beat the shit out of him.
What do you think Daredevil's doing in this episode?
Ooh. Well, obviously, Doctor Octopus's arms technology is quite threatening. What if someone were to take two of Doc Ock's arms and like slap them on the legs instead? So he's probably tracking down a criminal who's using.
We could do like the Daredevil show that's like in the same order of the Spider-Man show.
The Devil Slayers.
You created by it could work with Kingpin and Smythe as well. My father might wait.
They're my favorite gay couple in this cartoon.
Who says the representation wasn't around in the 90s? You're the greatest, the first gay couple in a Spider-Man TV show. They were pretty cute together, though.
Oh yeah, they love it, mate. They love each other.
The thumbnail you picked. It was the beginning.
Does look like something heinous is about to go down.
What about when was it Stiltman? I think it was Stiltman.
Probably, mate. With the shrink ray.
Daredevil. This was during the Mark Waid run where Daredevil and Spidey were fighting Stiltman, I'm pretty sure. But Doc Ock was in Spidey's body.
Superior.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was. And I don't think it was Stiltman. Who was it?
There's
It was an
awfully
upgraded
drawn.
Stiltman. When Stiltman had his
Stiltman?
arms. No, like his Stiltman's arms could also elongate as well as his legs.
Ooh.
But he's like, it's funny because at the start of the fights, Daredevil was talking shit about Doc Ock, and then and then Spidey was pissed. And I think he like hit him or something, or like talk shit back. He's like, "Why do you care?"
165. You were right about the issue that Daredevil fought Doc Ock. It was in the 160s. Good going.
But that was around the Frank Miller time, wasn't it? That was during.
Yeah.
I mean, it works, I guess.
I think Doctor Octopus is probably a little bit too powerful for Daredevil to take
He's
on.
actually really strong, isn't he?
Yeah, like Spider-Man's got all the powers, so obviously he'll handle himself okay. But I don't know, man. Doc Ock's like, I read a story once where Iron Man was struggling to take down Ock. So I don't really see Daredevil's billy clubs doing a whole lot. Unless, what if it was super easy? You know, like how the very first Doctor Octopus comic appearance, as soon as Spider-Man's through his arms and he lands one good punch on Otto's face and it takes him down because other than the arms, he's a normal dude. What if Daredevil just like ricocheted his billy club off like all the walls so it pings the back of Doc's head and he just takes him down with ease?
Well, if Bullseye's there, all he has to do is make sure Karen's just a human shield because then he couldn't hit Doc Ock for shit. What about like the fact that he fought Electro in his second appearance?
Yeah, round 2.
He's an actual
yellow
like
Daredevil.
super villain.
He was still in yellow and he defeats Electro. Mental, mate.
Electro, like, he was been so depressed as after getting shit on constantly.
The fun thing about Daredevil for me, the thing that I enjoy, is that he hasn't got super strength. Like, it's so easy for a super strength character to take on anyone. But Daredevil's just like, he's buff, but he's just base human. Except for his senses.
I think the show just made it a bit too over the top. Like,
yeah, the Netflix show, yeah, he's taken some punishment.
Even the people around him, you think you'd be knocked out. I remember one time he hit someone with he got hit with a wrench, I think. And the gladiator like grabbed him and then slammed his head against a metal fucking massive metal thing in the ceiling. And he was fine. It was like half dazed at best. You'd be knocked out cold.
Death. Super senses has always been weird. Like, sometimes he feels more pain than the average person because he's got sensitive skin.
If you got
so
cut.
It's like he's out being a superhero, and then the slightest like nudge feels like a punch to him. That's ballsy, that.
Could you imagine if he's like just billy clubbing around, and then a fucking tree branch goes into his eye? No, I'm really blind.
I'm not finding a whole lot of Daredevil versus Doc Ock on the old Google.
There was the Owl and Doc Ock. Wasn't that during like Spectacular Spider-Man?
Oh, man, yeah. They were at war, weren't they?
Well, didn't
Doc
Black
Ock
Cat almost
shoots
die?
up Black Cat, yeah. Doc Ock gets a gat.
How did she survive? There was like about 20 bullet holes in her.
That was before she had the luck powers as well.
Oh, it was dodgy though when didn't Kingpin find Black Cat like nude or something in the ocean?
I believe so.
Yeah,
he's doing it again, mate. Frisky Fisky strikes again.
Fisky Fisky. What do you think Micah Sin was up to? Was he just preparing his diet?
I think he was undercover as an FBI agent, trying to get close to.
Things?
I think he knows about Jack Hardesty, and thus he knows that Felicia's mother, what's her name? Rosalind. What's her name? Anastasia Hardy. I think he knows that technically, even though she's not seen Jack for a while, she is still legally married. So Mike is in undercover as this FBI agent.
You nailed it.
Making his move.
Do you think like he's had like issues with fucking the guy who killed Uncle Ben because Aunt May became a widow?
Nah, she's a widow and she's not. Yeah, it doesn't count for Micah.
Yeah,
he loves the chase.
It's like
and the bagel and made it too easy.
Yeah, it's like actually cheating because like, well, there's no competition. Could you imagine?
Sick son of a bitch.
If like Daredevil's like he just went up and then slept with one of like his cave women as a payback.
Oh, he sets it up so Foggy can.
It would be like in fucking Daredevil, like the end the Senti run, around that time when like John Romita was on pencils, I'm pretty sure. And to get back at Wilson, he like sleeps with Typhoid Mary. Well,
he calls the cops.
But around that time, Typhoid Mary and Wilson were like a thing. He sleeps with her.
Yeah. Well, didn't he do that to him initially? Didn't Fisk shag her while she was meant to be with Daredevil as well?
Well,
so it's like a bit of revenge.
Set him up, I think.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that the whole reason why they even met was because Kingpin wanted her to sleep with him. Kingpin is a real bro here.
Yeah, mate, sets it up, don't he? And it's not even like when Mysterio made Daredevil think he had AIDS. This is genuinely...
that was so good. Only Mysterio could do that.
He didn't poison Typhoid Mary's vag off and he just handed her over to Daredevil.
He's like, enjoy. It's like they've become fucking Harry and Peter in the Raimi-verse.
Just swapping.
They become like, what's the brother thing?
Eskimo bros.
Matt and Wilson. Eskimo bros. That's class. That's crazy, man.
Speaking of mate, and Doctor Octopus ties into it because at the same time, Doctor Octopus has been Peter, and Peter and Daredevil have both shagged Black Cat.
Oh, I love how pissed he got as well because of that.
Yeah, watching them neck on a building.
Yeah,
this is my super villain origin.
But even like afterwards, when he's got a date with like Kristen McDuffie, Peter, he's like, I got a date, and Peter's like, is it with Felicia? I think he was like, he deserves it or something. He got full on jealous about it. Oh, Felicia
wasn't happy, mate.
Asking for?
Yeah, mate. She was going with everyone at that point. I think she showed Luke Cage. Now she's a lesbian out of nowhere. Which is the same thing they've done to Tim Drake. You know, Tim Drake's meant to be gay now. Even though like his best series was about him getting with Spoiler. Not Spoiler. Yeah, Spoiler.
Do you remember in one of our iconic Panel Pals episode, I'm pretty sure I even mentioned that Bernard was like a perv who fancied his stepmom.
Yeah, he was like a horny teenager back in the day.
Yeah, he closed the door and was like, oh, she's so hot. And now he's like the opposite.
Was it just him in that situation, or was he like, could he have been perhaps pretending to be straight for someone else's benefit?
Maybe Mysterio did it?
I wouldn't put it past him, mate. Yeah, that's not... Tim Drake's gay because of Mysterio.
Why stop at Milish Marvel World when I can go to the DC world? I am Mysterio.
Mysterio be a boss Batman villain. Do you know of the Spook?
The Spook?
He's like a Scooby. He's a Batman villain, but he's more like a friggin' Scooby-Doo villain. He dresses up like a ghost and pretends to harm places. And I'm pretty sure
it says on the fandom.
I'm pretty sure Damian Wayne chopped his head off in like one of his first appearances.
The spook.
Yeah, he looks like that ice cream ghost from Scooby Doo, where one's strawberry, one's chocolate, and one's vanilla.
Why would they bother? I got that comic. I just saw the cover. I never read it.
His debut.
I got the 252 one. the 252 Batman. Batman unearths the grave of the spook.
No way. It says he's the world's greatest escape artist, and he uses special effects to commit spectacular crimes. So he's basically Mysterio.
Yeah, it's just Mysterio.
But Mysterio himself, I would love to see if DC and Marvel could get along. I want to see a sort of like villain swap once and for all, but not written as if like, well, my character's stronger than yours. Don't treat it as if they've already met. Like, if you're gonna do Bane fighting Spider-Man, have it be a Bane that's never fought Batman. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, like make it unique to that experience.
Build like the world where the only difference is they've swapped enemies.
Yeah, that'd be better because then it'd be like an interesting, fresh new take on the whole thing.
Like, I want to see Spider-Man fighting Mr. Freeze, and then like halfway through the fight, his webs stop working because it's too cold or something. Meanwhile, Batman's like investigating the Rhino and like trying to plan how the hell he's going to take down the Rhino.
Oh, Batman would get his ass kicked.
He would.
I mean,
but they could come up with like interesting dodges for it.
It would be funny just to see Spidey just beat everyone easily, and then Batman's like fucking against Carnage. Like shit.
That would be funny. Like,
well, did the spook appear in issue 304? Because I got that one as well of Batman. It's when like Batman's lying on the ground dead, and there's a giant like grey ghost Batman in the background, and then Bruce Wayne's in the corner.
His Wikipedia's got some genuinely cool artwork with like him in the foreground with like his backstory going on in the background. He's dressed in white, and this one looks like Moon Knight or something. That looks sick.
Imagine the hate monger in the MCU.
Only if they get the real Hitler to play him.
Yeah, just go dig him up. The hate monger. What a villain. My jaw dropped when I was reading that Fantastic Four issue, and then Hitler's face was like, what?
Why like the Fantastic Four for that? Like, surely Captain America.
It is funny, though, how Sergeant Fury appears in that issue. You gotta have some sort of war. I just found a custom-made hate monger figure.
Could they legally sell them? Or would that be like if Elon Musk was a supervillain for DC?
I feel like if Marvel Legends censored Goblin Queen's fucking thighs from the animated series, but it's like she's wearing a covered version of her normal costume, and all you can see is like some of her thighs, and they covered it up. Like it looks like she's wearing stockings on the figure.
That's a bit crap, isn't it?
I sent through the hate monger action figure.
It's just Hitler.
Yeah, we got the costume. The costume spot on.
Do you reckon they took like the head from a Jonah Jameson and just altered the hair?
Well, he's got the perfect stash, mate. I do love when Ben Urich was like, he just made fun of his mustache in the elevator because they're just talking shit to each other. He's like, well, you have the fucking dictator stash or something. I miss Urich's class. I also, off topic, I think he's in charge of something. I can't remember what he's in. He might be in charge of the Bugle, but I could be wrong.
Ooh.
or his own newspaper, probably. I think I don't know, but I hate in the Daredevil show that, like we said before, Karen's just a bunch of characters combined,
Yeah.
and I hate that they do like the her work knows that she has that dilemma of she can't write the article about Daredevil's identity and she gets fired because of it. And it's like, don't give Karen Ben Urich's like best story. What's wrong with you?
After she got Ben Urich killed.
She gets everyone killed?
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Mate, it's one of the most memorable issues of Daredevil is when Matt's in the hospital and Urich's like, I'm not gonna tell anyone.
Weapon.
Even the movie got it right. The fucking movie did better. Like when Urich deletes the paragraph of saying Matt Murdock is Daredevil, and then he walks out of the office, and he sees Matt like standing on the rooftop. He's like, "Go get him, Matt!" And then he smiles and does that
What?
cool like. And then like Daredevil smiles and does that cool fucking issue 1 pose by Quesada, where like the ropes thrown at the camera. Oh, it's sick.
Yeah.
You know, as much shit as he did for Spidey, at least he drew Daredevil doing some cool poses, mate.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a lot of-
fine. It's his plot choices I take issue with.
Yeah, he was fine with Daredevil, the bastard.
Well, Daredevil. Oh, he was married. He broke up Daredevil too. What would you say is the best animated incarnation of Doctor Octopus?
This episode takes a more confident route for Doc Ock.
Yeah, he's
Spectacular was more reserved.
His jawline.
He was. I do like in Spectacular how he wants to reform.
I like the build up in Spectacular. How he starts off timid and shy and nervous, and then he grows into the master planner, mate.
I mean, like, Spectacular had the benefit of, I think, no restrictions, I guess.
He can throw punches, can hurt pigeons.
They had the Sinister Six, not the Insidious Six.
Insidious. And it was Doc Ock's idea in Spectacular. The Kingpins in this show. Yeah.
I do think that the Doc Ock was probably best portrayed in Spectacular. What about you?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I haven't seen the 2017 cartoon, and I haven't seen Freshman Year. But what I have seen,
all you need to know about the 2017 one is if you just type up Spider-Man 2017 Doc Ock, go to images, and that's all you need to know.
2017 Doc Ock. Okay. Isn't this the cartoon where he goes to school with the shocker?
And he has like that fucking, what's his name?
One of the kids is just, they go to Horizon High and Jesus.
Who was the orange head guy again? I forget his name.
Harry Osborn.
The guy in charge? No, the guy in charge of
Max
Horizon.
Modell.
Oh, that's right, yep. Dan Slott's crowning creation.
And he was gay as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah. In the book, he was.
I think, like in their wedding, they have the fucking Kingpin and Smythe, like their best man.
That's how they met.
Kingpin starts to tear up. This is so beautiful.
What will our wedding be like, Willie?
Vanessa shall prepare the oysters, and our family will be there. You know my father is dead.
There shall be a speech by my father.
We both have terrible fathers, Smythe. Yours
Happy
left you.
Bond.
Yours left you. No, he died. Yours left you.
No, he
And
died.
mine. And mine made fun of my weight. I couldn't climb a fucking ladder.
What episode is that? Is that in this season or?
So that's a Daredevil one, isn't it? That would be Daredevil.
Oh, I think it is, yeah, because it goes through both their origins.
You only got 20 minutes and you wasted on 2 origin stories? How could they do this?
And Chameleon's there for some reason.
It's like that Sinister Six like parody of from the show, and Chameleon's always just there.
Yeah.
And Chameleon.
All my most sinister foes. And the Chameleon.
I like when he gets bashed at the end, and then Spidey's like, "Oh, so that's what it looks like."
But yeah, Spectacular's got the best Doc Ock. Just because it builds up to him in this one, he more or less just appears and then goes, and here's why. They go, oh,
Well,
okay.
where would you? Because we ranked in terms of villains so far, what we're up to. But where would you rank this in terms of episodes?
Hmm. 3.
You rank it 3.
I think Night of the Lizard has been the best one so far. For the atmosphere, the rain and the horror.
It felt the strongest.
Night of the Lizard.
Yeah, it just felt like the strongest episode.
Yeah. Because there's no like side characters or nothing. It's all just Peter cracking on in it. No, like, who's Felicia Hardy? Who's Anastasia Hardy? Like, no, mate, there's a lizard on the streets. Let's investigate. It felt like a Batman episode. Maybe that's why it's so high up.
Even like, for all the restrictions, they still managed to just do a decent enough job.
Yeah.
Like, even with the transformation scene. Looks
it's quite scary.
The red eyes piercing through the darkness.
The fight in, like, Dr. Connors' front garden.
Yeah.
Where, like, it's chucking it down with rain and they're all just dodging each other's attacks and he's like, what the hell am I fighting here? Yeah, throws the tricycle and it makes like an explosion. And then second, they put Mysterio.
Yeah, that's fair.
What would you say?
Yeah, because I'd say no. I'd probably go the same because even Mysterio was just a good adaptation of issue 13.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's probably the right. The Spider Slayers are last. I don't give a. That's last. No, it's just that.
Of course.
It's so bad.
I would put the second part of the Spider Slayers as last, specifically. Because part 1 had the fun of, like, the party at Jonah's house and that. And part 2 is just pure go.
Well, like, the only part that was good about those two was just him and Jonah bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
The only remotely entertaining part. The guy in a lizard suit.
Man in lizard suit. What we got coming up next?
Man with fishbowl.
Mysterio as well. Do you reckon would be an interesting Doctor Strange villain? Because he's like bullshitting stuff that Strange can actually do.
Do you think Strange could just do like a fucking spell? And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think like Mysterio could put on a big show about like having a giant snake or something attack the bank. And then Doctor Strange would be like, I could actually summon like the bower of Blasphemo. Oh.
Pussy.
Yeah. Get that fake ass snake out of here.
I could see that happening.
And Doc Ock would be a good like Iron Man baddie, I think. just for the science tech bit, but he'd need obviously the rest of a suit, wouldn't he? If you're going to fight Iron Man, you've got to have armor.
Kraven could do well with Daredevil.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Just the hunt. And I feel like it'd be cool to see like his radar sense versus Kraven's like hunting
his
prowess.
heightened senses, mate. Yeah, I think Kraven should fight Wolverine. Has Kraven ever fought Wolverine that you've seen?
I haven't seen that, but I've seen Wolverine fight Daredevil.
Yeah,
that was recently. That was in the his current stuff. He fights Daredevil. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Wolverine fights Daredevil.
I hate how I can't type in like character versus character when I'm looking for issues when it happens, because all that ever comes up is like who would win in a fight between. It's so hard to see if it actually happened.
It's like in Lego Marvel where when you walk the streets, the civilians go, who would win a fight between Galactus or Doctor Doom? Or they just don't shut up.
How big is this room?
Watch it, buddy. I love that one. You got the fucking rhino running around the city and there's one woman going, watch it, buddy. The ball's on her, mate. The rhino.
I'd done a video months ago about like heroes fighting other people's villains, but like when it actually happened in the comics. Like Batman fought Mirror Master, Spider-Man fought the Juggernaut, that type of shit. And it's so easy to find Marvel instances because they all live in the same city. But it's really hard to find DC. Like, the only DC one I found was Green Arrow fighting Deadshot. And then Batman, again, fighting Captain Boomerang, even though I've just done that one. So I couldn't do it again.
I mean, in the Caped Crusader show now, didn't Batman fight Onomatopoeia or something?
I think so. But I'm a comic fella, you see.
Isn't he a Green Arrow villain?
I thought he was a Batman villain. Doesn't he kill one of Batman's... Didn't he kill Silver St. Cloud or something? He kills a love interest of Batman's.
Let me see this.
I'm pretty sure he tricks Batman into inviting him into the Batcave because he doesn't know that it's onomatopoeia. And then he, like, kills either his love interest or someone who works for him.
I thought he fought Green. Did he fight Green Arrow?
He did fight Green Arrow first, yeah. Like he was a Green Arrow villain.
Green Arrow he can't win.
No. Except for the Grell run, that was quite good.
Yeah, like even just now though, he's constantly shafted.
Yeah, it's because he's too political. They don't want to upset.
He just becomes Batman. Like the Arrow show's Batman, basically.
It was,
and then he loses his villains to Batman. The thing is, like a dartboard with Batman's face on it in his room, and he just fucking practices throwing darts at it. I believe we have Scorpion next.
He did kill Silver St. Cloud. Yeah, Scorpion's next.
It's Scorpion and Kraven, is it?
Scorpion, Kraven, and then Venom, mate. What a first season, dude.
Yes. Fucking can't wait for Venom.
And legitimately, Kraven's probably like my third favourite Spider-Man villain. Scorpion Kraven's as well. I think he does. Oh, Kraven's Last Son's that is the definitive. You know, that started off as a Batman Hugo Strange story.
What do you mean?
The writer pitched it to DC, but it was Batman and Hugo Strange instead.
Like Hugo's last
and Kraven. Last session. This is psychiatrist. But like DC didn't want it, so he took it to Marvel and changed characters around.
TAS?
I know, yeah, what the hell?
What a fumble. My
I'll
God.
Google it, I'll just so I know what I'm about, but Kraven's Last Hunt.
Critically acclaimed Marvel writer, be gone.
The story behind the hunt, there we go. I'm not going to read all that, but I've heard it's because it makes sense because Hugo Strange dresses up like Batman, doesn't he, in his spare time Where was that boss fight in Arkham City, by the way? Imagine if when you finally broke into his little cube at Wonder Tower, he was dressed as Batman.
Predator map.
That would have been sick. They missed out on so much doing like...
Yeah, but in the tapes, the Riddler says to Hugo, he's like, I know that you dress up as Batman.
Yeah.
He's got like recordings of it, I think.
He could have had they could have had a Killer Moth boss fight where he's using Predator techniques against you. They could have had Hugo Strange using your own techniques against you. And they could have had the Arkham Knight using your own techniques against you. And they did none.
The freaking... Whenever he hits you during the Predator map, he'll like give you an assessment on your like mental state.
Yeah, talk to your shit, man. What if in his death screen it was just like, well, I would have done this.
It's like when like Catwoman leaves and the rewind thing happens.
Yeah. He's like giving you pointers on how to beat him in the next go round.
Yeah.
I found what I was on about with Craven's Last Hunt. It was first it was the Grim Reaper's Last Hunt about Wonder Man that got rejected. So he wanted to do, he changed it to Batman and Joker, but the Killing Joke was already in production. So he instead tried to do Batman and Hugo Strange. That got rejected. And then he turned it into Craven and Spider-Man.
Thank God DC just fumbled.
You don't want Grim Reaper's Last Hunt.
Well, Daredevil already did it, mate. Are you doing Deathstalker? Basically the same thing.
Sick, mate. But yeah.
Imagine your mum avenging you by having a bunch of animatronic dolls lead Daredevil.
Yeah. That masterpiece of an issue, mate, pushing little kids down elevator shafts. No, mate, I'm blind.
But why would I?
I believe you must be mistaken, for you see, I'm blind.
Is there no cameras?
He got away with some shit there, mate.
Imagine if they just caught him anyway, like blind, local blind Hell's Kitchen lawyer Matt Murdock.
Yeah, it's still manslaughter. It might not be murder, but...
And so, for next time, we have the Scorpion.
We do indeed.
And
underrated villain.
Definitely. I do think... I will get into it more when it's, episode time.
10.
But I love his levels on the Spidey game from the first one.
Yeah, when you gotta chase him to the bugle.
So good, mate. It's so fucking good.
Scorpion is he's a weird one for video games. Like, he's good in that. He was a bit shit in 2018. He died in the recent one. He was the only villain we saw actually die as well. Bit of disrespect there. But
didn't deserve it.
The Sam Raimi movie games had a very unique Scorpion in that he was more the victim. He was more of an anti-hero, wasn't he? He was more Venom than Venom was in that bloody game.
Seen him run around just fearing for his life.
The quick time events were quite sick as well. Like when he, some of the animations where it's like Spidey fighting Scorpion were quite cool.
Remember when in Spider-Man 3 you had the quick time events for fucking web swinging, just normal swinging. Yeah,
and then if you miss it, either the web doesn't come out or you just crash into a wall.
It's so stupid. Like, I could have just done that myself.
Yeah, in the sewers. But that ruins that game. It would have been fine, like, without.
I remember there was that one defender on my Spider-Man 2 video.
What was he saying?
Oh, he was just talking shit about how unfair it was and how games are worse now. It's like, yeah, but that game is still shit, mate. It doesn't change anything. That's like me saying, like, fucking Epstein was bad. But things are bad now. So.
Yeah, stuff being shit now doesn't excuse stuff being shit back then.
Yeah, it's like, when does it end? When does the logic end? Skip Westcott was a hero now. I just didn't see it.
I just couldn't see. He was a pedophile. He touched my bum.
Skip begins. Skip. The Skip Westcott. The Skip Westcott rises. He's got like his butler that's also like a severe nonce. He's like, always imagine.
Taught him all he knows.
He's like, always imagine you in fucking Venice, having a coffee with Peter Parker. And then the movie ends with him in like Italy with Peter Parker.
What was the point of all them magazine poses if you can't touch one bloody bum?
He got straight to it as well in that issue. He's like, all right, magazine.
Yeah, no, there's no flirting, there's no preamble. He's like, right, we're alone. Let's get it done.
Coast is
where's
clear.
Where's the foreplay?
Where's the like, the normal talking part where you actually act like human beings?
Good.
But I feel like
who should play Skip in Spider-Man 4? We've got a very young-looking Peter, so it's not too late.
It's not too late for the Skip saga. Because Skip looks. This is the weird thing. Skip looks young. Like he doesn't have a wrinkle on his face.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd with his hair dyed white.
Yeah.
He's got I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Charlie Cox all at it.
Tobey Maguire, man.
He thinks it's like Spider-Man from the other world comes back, but he's like, who? Skip's got no idea what he's talking about. Hi, diddle diddle. Where's my riddle? He's ready to be fiddled.
Playing Arkham City the other day, and my wife's watching us play it. And like the Riddler shit where sometimes like the panels are red and you can't step on them.
Oh yeah,
do the green ones. She goes, why are some of them red? And I went, cause when it's green, it's the Riddler. When it's red, it's the Diddler. She was like, no. Believe me for a sec.
The Diddler, that's great.
The Diddler.
Step on the red platform, Batman, and
5 children missing.
Step on the red plate, and you shall become property of the Diddler.
The ultimate villain, mate, the Diddler. Has Batman been molested by anyone? I'm sure. You know what? I'm pretty sure there has been a comic where he gets... Yeah, we did, but I'm sure there's a comic that makes reference of him like getting touched in boys' school or when he was at like boarding school. What's this obsession?
No one's safe, mate. I'm fucking freaking out now.
If Batman himself could get touched.
Talia, I mean, they count Talia because she drugged him.
I suppose. At least 7 members of the Bat family have been either sexually assaulted or it was attempted on them.
Nightwing's been fucking...
He's been raped a few times, to be fair. Like, I can name at least twice that he's been diddled.
Even in... Was it the Tarantula Woman?
Yeah. And then I think
like...
Midnighter tried it on with him once as well.
But the Tarantula Woman's like actually grim because he's hallucinating. Because I think he thought he killed someone and he's like freaking out and he's paralyzed on the ground. He's like, I failed you, Bruce. And then she gets on top of him and he's like, no, don't touch me. I'm poisoned. And he's like, he can't move. And she's like, shh. Like, what the fuck am I reading?
Why has everything got to become like super fucking edgy, dude? Where's the colourful costumes and the like stopping fun bank heists? Why's everyone got to get diddled? Or Or
I mean, the Kingpin one's the only one that makes sense because I'm pretty sure Garth Ennis wrote that.
well, yeah, you don't do the crime if you can't do the time. But why are heroes getting fingered? What's the problem, man?
Oh, but even didn't like Raven control him
In a dream, yeah.
and
Early on.
basically assaulted him through that? Like, didn't she cause him to do something with someone and he didn't want to, but she controlled it?
Yeah.
This poor guy, man.
It's just
Not only was his name Dick, but then he just gets.
It's not bad enough that his parents are dead. You've also got to sexually assault him.
Or else, where's the justice?
I'm not big on this Talia raping thing either, you know. Like, he genuinely, before she went completely loony, didn't he genuinely love Talia? I can see that he would just have a night of passion with her, and then she disappears to have Damien. It doesn't always have to be rape.
Who else? Has Tim Drake? Has Superman?
There's a joke that Superman has been, because a bunch of Russians had him, like, trapped powerless for days.
That is crazy. The darkest Superman story I've ever read, Superman Red and Blue.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, type in Superman rape and press images.
Oh my god.
And it's kind of
every day they would drag me into the interview room.
They did things to me. What the hell?
No way.
Superman and Cell? No.
If he's not safe,
Who is?
don't they realize what message they're sending out to people? Like, oh, yeah, you're screwed.
Is that the only like drama they can come up with nowadays?
It's so shallow of a thing as well. Like, oh yeah, he just got fondled.
It's like, why does the shocker shock? Well, his dad touched him.
Like, it's just, is that all they can think of?
It must be, mate. That Menendez brothers shit really got it going.
Did Miss Marvel get assaulted by her own son?
Yeah, nowadays she did. Even though back in the day when it happened, she was into it.
Consent. Yeah.
Catwoman's probably been felt up a few times. It's a grim life.
What has this episode turned into?
To be fair, Doc Ock's got all the hands, so this was the time to address it. And before we go, think of all the fun stuff Scorpion could do with that tail.
What? Helena Bertinelli? She was raped at age 6 as revenge against her father?
Christ.
Later retconned?
BC. Later retconned.
They saved their
So
ass.
it didn't happen. Oh, close one.
Stephanie, one of her father's friends, tried to,
Well, you know where her dad is, don't you, mate? The Clue Master. Discount Riddler.
Riddler's like, hi, Riddle Diddle. I just fiddled your daughter. It's like, oh, fuck
there is
you.
actually, sorry, there's a page, I think it must be from Robin, where Clue Master's arguing with his ex-wife because he's letting the Riddler and his two, like, henchwomen, Riddler's two Harley Quinns, like, live with them for a bit. They're arguing about, like, being a bad example for the daughter. And then you just see from off the page, I have a question. And it's the Riddler. He walks and he goes, did you remember milk? So, like, he genuinely hangs out with Riddler. Clue Master and Riddler, you'd think they'd get on considering they did steal each other's gimmick.
What the fuck?
Do you remember when they said there was no, what was it? DC said there was no wanking in the DC universe because there was a big kickoff about how Batman wouldn't eat out Catwoman.
That stupid panel with Zack Snyder's like, there's always that meme of like Zack Snyder saying, "Cannon."
Yeah.
He definitely wants that to be canon. There's no way he doesn't. That fiend. Oh, it's just so shit, mate.
I want to know now, what's this obsession with the writers making every hero get assaulted?
I feel like it's a bit of a fetish thing that the writers just let go into their books.
It doesn't make it relatable. I know, like, you only... The news never reports on people who didn't get molested. But a lot of people didn't get molested as well. Where's our representation?
Oh, don't jinx it, mate.
We've got a wheelchair-bound Spider-Man. Can we have one that's not been diddled?
Yeah, we have one that's just it's a YouTuber.
Ooh.
Perhaps.
Lawless was a YouTuber.
Oh, God's sake. She basically just Columbused her dad's work.
Mate, Suicide Squad kill all the interest anyone had in Rocksteady. Well, look, guys, there's going to be a new Arkham game. We don't care, mate. You've had your chance.
The only way I'd buy another Rocksteady game is if it's like Red Hood kill the Suicide Squad, just so I can fucking kill them all.
Yeah, mate. Arkham Knight alternate skin. Just want to get them blasted.
Oh, it'd be so much better. I'd be like, yeah, I'd pay them for that. That's the only thing I'd buy off them.
You should cut to like the final DLC of Suicide Squad. Should like fade back into Bruce at the asylum, and it was like he's still in Arkham Asylum. It was the fourth. It was all the third Scarecrow nightmare. Like he never got attacked by Croc. Batman's like, what was I doing? And then Joker just comes over the thing like, did anyone see where Batman went?
Oh,
no way.
He was in the asylum.
Yeah, the whole thing was a Scarecrow nightmare again.
I thought you meant like in Night when he injects him with toxins at the end.
No, mate. Further back, and then they can re-release City again, and we can truly be back in the glory days. Or even if
seen the game last night,
if you want to keep City, you just have him wake up at the Mad Hatter's table. And the whole thing, he's still in Arkham City.
He definitely got fiddled there.
Oh Christ, he definitely did.
There's no way the Mad Hatter would have Batman helpless like that and not do something.
Yeah, he'd at least like feel his muscles, wouldn't he?
I don't like in Night though when they took it to a next level of him being weird.
He's super weird, and like people say Joker's gay for Batman. All Mad Hatter does is want to shag Batman. Talking about putting him in a little dress.
Not shut up.
No, mate.
Yeah, he would not shut up about it.
And it's a shame because his like DLC's genuinely cool. We're like fighting on the storybook.
But the worst part is, I think when he speaks, his voice was so gravelly, and it made it so much more disturbing. We're like, I want you. It's like, oh fuck, no.
Yeah.
Get away! Get away!
Yeah.
Even you could see Batman was pissed though.
Yeah,
when he finally gets out of the mind control and he lifts him up and he's like,
he hates Mad Hatter, doesn't he? Like even in City, he was like, "Go to hell, Jerry."
I think
with Two-Face or something, Batman would be like, "Don't worry." With Two-Face or Penguin, he'll talk shit, but he'll then like ignore them when he's done with them. But with Mad Hatter, Batman's like, "No, this creep."
I love in City when he stomps his hat. And he's fucking livid. Like Mad Hatter's absolutely distraught. He's like even if it had like to do with his mind control, you just know he loves that hat as well. Like in general, it's like my favorite hat.
It's like his good time hat.
Oh, he's fiddled many with that hat.
Oh yeah, the memories.
The hat stays on. The hat stays on.
That's the only thing that stays on.
I feel so bad for like anyone wanted to, they wanted like an episode strictly on the one we watched. gone on to like a rape tangent. What the fuck's happened?
We've had quite the experience today.
It's a new level, I think. Like this is
It's all relevant.
all time.
Listen, I'm pretty sure pretty soon Dan Slott's gonna like write a story where Doctor Octopus's dad molested him. So let's just. By the time this comes out, I'm sure it'll be super relevant.
Wasn't there? Was it Punisher villain? A Punisher villain, I'm pretty sure, who's like emotionless.
Yeah.
His backstory's like fucked. I think his aunt had a thing for him, but she was like rich, like that typical big rich woman type.
Yeah.
And so like I think all his family slowly dies and like gets killed, and then it's just him and his aunt, and you see him sleep with her, and it's weird as fuck. It's
like
I think it's Garth Ennis again. What's with Garth Ennis and just shit?
He's a psycho.
He really is, especially in The Boys, in the comic book. It's horrible. There's like I think
I refuse to read Crossed.
and there's like a decapitated head with a hole in it, and he's like, I tried to fuck its brains, didn't work. Like, why?
Jesus.
What is wrong with you, mate?
He's one of them where, like, if he didn't get this out in his job, he would be a serial killer. He gets all his dark thoughts on the paper, so he doesn't have to actually go and hunt down women.
Mate, whenever someone's like, even with Frank Miller, he's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I find him just like that oddball. And didn't he even write? He wrote The Man Without Fear one, right? He did that whole origin story.
Yeah, that was Miller.
And he had Elektra like stripped nearly nude in the alleyway.
Well, in Batman Year One, he had Holly Robinson being like a child prostitute.
It's mate, when someone's like original crowning achievement is named Sin City, seek help.
And it's not about Mike.
We could do a fucking video called Sin City, but spelled with his name instead.
Yeah, mate. When we review the saga.
Micah saga. I do love though in the gang war how it's just like, oh yeah, Micah's taking up fucking territory.
It never shows him on panel. It never actually does anything useful. Just Kingpin's informer goes, Micah Sin's still messing with us. Kingpin goes, her.
Or even just like, I guess he was just too powerful to show.
Must have been, yeah. The artist couldn't grasp such a character existed.
Oh, mate. You know, are you close to Scotland? I don't know the exact map of the UK.
I mean,
I just saw now a rare fungus that acts like the cordyceps fungus, which inspired The Last of Us, was recently discovered in a rainforest in fucking Scotland.
I didn't even know Scotland had rainforests. Yeah,
mate,
they'll stay in.
It said, but don't worry, it's only infecting spiders.
Yeah, but if a spider gets blasted with radiation and bites me.
I will worry, thank you very much. You're telling me there's a cordyceps? Kill it. I don't give a shit if there's a zombie apocalypse as long as I'm dead.
Do you think Doctor Octopus named his crew the Sinister Six because of how much he respects the ultimate villain of Marvel, Micah Sin? Do you think he wanted them to join and he was going to call them the Sin Six, but then Micah refused?
So changed it last second to Sinister.
In Spider-Man Reign, they were known as the Sinner Six, but it was spelled wrong.
It's so stupid.
Micah
Could you imagine
Sinister Six.
It would be overkill for Spidey, though, because how could he defeat all of them plus Sin?
Exactly, mate. You know what?
It would be
the
impossible.
second he hears about his diet, Spidey's going mad.
His spider sense goes off purely based off the diet.
He just sees Micah about to tuck into a big sandwich. Suddenly the alarm bells. He's like, the calories in that must be off the charts.
His cholesterol's going to skyrocket. Even like when he's just around, he's not even attacking Spidey. His sense is just constantly warning him about his fucking stomach.
Yeah. There was a Dan Slott story once where like Kingpin had set up spider sense triggers or like amplifiers around the city. So every little potential danger was driving Peter mad with worry. Like he sees a bunch of papers on the Daily Bugle desk, and in his mind it's just going paper cut, paper cut, paper cut. He goes to cross the road and it's like look left, look right, look left. It's driving him loopy, and I think he has to fight the Hobgoblin while it's kicking up.
Possibly one of the only good things Dan Slott did. What about what if Micah Sin, through the sheer bad diet, has like acidic spit? Like vomit? Projectile acid vomit?
What if
You might be
like
onto something,
it like
mate.
corrodes through the webs?
Yeah.
Too much sugar
like,
in his spit.
He has his own Wesley. It's just the cave woman, and she gives him like KFC or something, so he can overeat and then vomit. It's like
his master plan is to give New York diabetes.
So stupid. Micah Sin, the fucking greatest creation of all time. He's so good. He hasn't been around for 30 plus years.
Get him in Vaughn again, mate.
He should have been in Devil's Reign.
He becomes mayor instead of Luke Cage.
It would have been way better. Or instead of like Elektra's Daredevil, could have been Sin in like his redemption arc.
Yeah, mate, because he's Daredevil. What does the devil make you do? Sin.
I mean, that's why he's always had a bone to pick with Daredevil.
I'm gonna call it original sin. I'm gonna call it he who is without sin.
It's all coming together. Cue the LA Noire theme song.
Masterpiece. Scorpion, then McDonald, Gargan. Not like the restaurant. McDonald.
Don't tell Sin. He tries to eat Scorpion.
E-I-E-I-O.
And then after that, Craven, then symbiotes. We're sorted.
Micah symbiotes.
Symbiotes. When a Bonson, you get the worst diet possible.
Yeah, because it's after brains in it. So.
Yeah.
Grim.
But I think we've covered everything we could and much more.
Maybe a bit too much.
If you're sensitive, then you might want to skip this one.
We'll warn you at the end.
Yeah, we could put like a warning at the start, like trigger warning.
This is like one of them very special episodes of old cartoons where like the character will get peer pressure into smoking. We tell us smoking's bad, but this one's all about sexual assault.
And like the writers with weird fetishes.
What have you got coming up then, eh? I know you've been reading a lot of Daredevil. What else is on the docket? By the time
this one comes up, I'm hoping the Daredevil video is actually out.
Nice. This will probably be third week in October.
Yeah, I could see that. It clearly takes me like 4 to 7 days to make one video. So yeah, probably. Are we hoping to because a member requested a Superman video, but there was 2 stories I liked, so I might just do the other one as well later on.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it's weird because Nightwing sometimes gets views, but then sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's confusing. But I was considering a video on Nightwing.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the fucking. I wanted to do what's it called? I have the book right here. It's like Batman First Night, but it was a book
Night
that was
with a
released
K.
this year. Yeah, but like it was released this year.
Yeah.
A Black Label book.
Oh.
And I was gonna do like an opening where it's like a detective noir thing, black and white, and I turn on the radio, and it's like an advert for the book.
That'd be cool.
That's what I was because it's set in the 30s. But what do you have planned for the glorious channel?
I think it's vampires. I'm looking on my thing here, and based on we're still in October defo because it'll be 3 weeks for this one, and we're on what today, the 5th, 4th. Doctor Strange.
The Halloween special
is a werewolf.
The
Halloween yeah. 6 of them are done. Smash it, mate.
What about for Halloween on the date, 31st?
Oh, on the day of Halloween, mate, a very special, exclusive documentary on one of America's most brutal serial killers.
A certain CK.
Ooh.
Obviously
Charlie
standing
Chaplin.
for...
Yeah, man.
Obviously standing for Comic Hour pronounces Krakoan.
Yeah, it was funny. It's not often a character I would say I'm a huge fan of, but he's definitely the one I would least want to bump into in a dark alley.
The one you'd want to most... It's the type between him and Skip Westcott. I don't know which one would be worse.
At least you can, unless you're Alistair Smythe, you can run from Skip Westcott.
Yeah, but it's like if he gets you, you're either the other one you're getting killed, but then the other one you're going to be scarred for life. So it's like,
would you rather be dead?
or skipped.
He's
Sound
like,
class?
as he's chasing you, he's like, "You're not skipping this one."
Who said you could skip the line?
The Skip Westcott fucking death screen from Arkham Knight. I'm not skipping out on this experience, Batman.
I mean, it's the most scary shit ever.
My nightmare.
It'd be like that. The Hugo Stranger is like, "I'll enjoy dissecting your brain, Miss Kyle," but with Skip instead. Oh, class! Well, I can't wait to see what you've got planned.
Ooh, me neither. I need October ideas, not October, November ideas.
Mate, I should probably do a Halloween thing, like at least something Halloween.
I know I've only been doing this 2 years. I've got 2 traditions for Halloween. We talk about the Scarecrow, because I think he's probably my favourite Batman villain. And we read some Simpson Halloween special.
Yeah, Simpson Halloween, like the Treehouse Horror, whatever it's called, the episode.
Yeah. They're the best episodes, even to this day, where it's like it's long past its golden age. Still always tune in for them just in case.
Yeah. Apparently, Homer choked Bart recently again.
Again? Oh yeah, apparently it was like they pretended it was the final episode, didn't they? Like Bart was 10 and 11.
To be honest, let it go, mate. Just end it.
Yeah, they should. They should have years ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of like American shows I feel like have that issue of they just drag on. Like compare the UK office to the US office.
Yeah, there's like only 2. Is it 1 season or 2 for the UK one?
I think it might be 2, but then I know the US
Even
one's got
then-
like 6 or something.
Even then, it's like 4 episodes a season in it down here. In between us, there's like 12 episodes
In
total.
Between Us is one of my favorite fucking shows. Fucking Cartwright.
Yeah, mate. But like, we come in, we say what needs to be said, and we go. And then America have to like. That's what we should have called this podcast, Comic Friend.
Comic Friends. Remember, some people deemed it too was it childish?
Too childish, yeah, but that's part of the fun, isn't it, mate?
But he hasn't. I don't think he's watched a single episode.
I know, yeah. He's certainly not commented. What were the other options, man? It was like threats and menaces, which we ended
And
up
we just
merging.
sort of kept that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sub series now. That's one sub series, and then we've got the Spidey TAS Watchalong.
Soon we'll have
Which is
spectacular MTV.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the MTV one. I love that show.
It's boss, mate.
Especially the
Nice.
Electro episode. It was weird as fuck, but it was good
It's
as.
scary as hell. He's like a ghost, mate.
That scene where he's in the TV used to scare the shit out of me as a kid.
Oh, yeah, mate.
Oh, it was horrifying.
He's a creepy bastard, isn't he? But that's a story for next time, true believers. Because we've yet to tackle the Scorpion. Is it Stinger the Scorpion, the next episode
Yeah,
title?
I think so.
That's probably the best title they could have thought of, to be fair to them.
Oh, I do like Never Step on a Scorpion.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite issues anyway. Issue 29 of Spider-Man is one of my favorites.
Oh.
It's so good. Because I'm pretty sure that's when he does chase James. Like, you have to chase him to the Bugle. That's when it first happened.
Oh, nice. Then I look forward to that.
Be sure to tune in next panel time. Next panel channel.
Panel channel.